So you're currently seeing somebody, or
Yeah, but we're not like officially together.
how long have you guys been talking or whatever?
A year, but like off and on.
Whoa. Okay, hold on. Did you make this guy wait?
Yeah.
Is he still waiting?
No,
Is he
he's
still
not.
Okay. I thought you said you've been single for 2 years,
I am.
but you've been seeing this guy for 1 year.
Yeah, but we've never been official. Like we've never like put a label on it.
So you're just
But you're having
exclusive.
you're having with him.
You're dating him.
Sometimes.
Are you sleeping with other men
No.
during
You're dating him.
during the 1 year period?
I have
Have
like
you slept
when.
with other men while you've been in this 1 year period with
Yeah. Yes.
them? Okay.
Not only one other guy.
How long? Wait. So how long did you make this guy wait?
Yeah, I think it was like 5 dates.
And then what about that one other guy that was in between?
Yeah, that was like the first date. I don't do that anymore.
Wait.
But that was like the first.
This is what sometimes is kind of crazy.
But that was also just for a hookup. Like I wasn't trying to like meet somebody to
Furthering
date
the
when I was doing
stereotype
it.
of all Catholic girls.
I don't get this
The
thing
bridge
of
of
like,
divorce.
okay, I don't actually have any qualms when it comes to sleeping with someone quickly. If it's just a hookup, well, of course,
Yeah.
do it right away. But then the guy that is worthy of something longer term or continuous or even a relationship, he gets to wait. That's always confusing to me. And
Well,
the
I
other
didn't,
confusing
like,
thing to
put
me
a-
is like, as a guy, look, you're free to do whatever you want. You lose your virginity within 30 seconds of meeting some total boy, and then the next guy who comes along who you want a relationship with, I suppose you can make him wait 6 months. I would, as a guy though, I would be like, hold up. The first time you ever had sex, you were a virgin. And the expectation there would be, well, the first time you had sex, there would be almost an expectation that would be the instance in which women choose to wait a longer period of time before having sex, is when you lose your virginity. But women are doing this like in reverse almost. Like you lose your virginity just randomly.
Yeah, I can't explain my 17-year-old logic. Like I
that's
said,
fine.
I'm not like
Hey,
that anymore.
That's fine. I just would be like, if some girl told me, by the way, Brian, I lost my virginity within 30 minutes of meeting some random dude on the beach who said some weird to me while we were talking. But for you, Brian, now that I don't have my virginity, I want to wait till date number 5. I would
don't
just be like,
necessarily say like we have to wait.
What?
I kind of like.
I would kind of
It's
flip
like-
that question around on you, though. Are you going to value a woman more, like date-wise, if you meet her and she to the first hour,
Exactly.
or
Honestly,
if
I
you went
don't-
on a
it
couple
has-
dates and like you felt like she had a little bit better morals? Are you more likely to end up dating her and staying with her
I
because you
don't-
respected her a little bit more?
Exactly. That's what I'm.
So that's
yeah.
I would kind of flip
well,
that question on
I mean,
you.
so in this specific situation, you had a woman who's a here who slept with the guy relatively quickly. It has really no bearing.
Well, I'm talking
on-
about just like her dating one with the year and
Right.
the other one.
But so while I do think the quickness and rapidity with which somebody sleeps with you could be a marker for their promiscuity or past promiscuity or their body count, it doesn't necessarily, like if a girl sleeps with you quickly, it doesn't necessarily mean that she has a high body count or she's promiscuous.
Correct.
It could just be that
But she probably does.
no, actually not necessarily. It could be a greater
Attraction,
indicator.
yeah.
But I mean, for me, I don't have any qualms with hooking up relatively quickly.
Like you wouldn't it wouldn't
No, it
devalue
wouldn't.
or
No,
would
I think
keep
they're-
in your mind as far as how quickly she
No,
slept
becau-
with you, like whether you were dateable or not.
No, I don't think it would have. It certainly wouldn't have
No.
any impact on my.
Yeah, from all
judgment.
the guys like I've experienced going out with, like they usually don't want to date you if you have sex with them the first time because then they think you're like or something. That's
They don't
that's
want to
just
turn a hoe
like,
into a housewife.
yeah, that's what I've heard. I can't speak for every man, but that's usually what I hear, and that's kind of why I've like, because I wanna get married someday, and I want a husband, you know. So I'm trying
Well,
to.
I mean, but so here's the thing though, is that typically I don't think men are going to do this game where they're going to do, I don't think men are going to do this test. So it's like they're going to do a test where they're going to attempt to sleep with you. And if you do sleep with him, you have failed the test. And had you not slept with him, he would have otherwise pursued you for a serious and long-term relationship. I don't know if that's like a thing a guy would do, is to employ a test.
I don't think that would be initial.
I don't think
no,
they're like purposely
Yeah,
doing that,
purposely
but
doing it,
like
yeah.
just guys have told me that. I don't know.
It's better.
I
to
don't think they
protect-
purposely
You can
do
protect
it, though.
yourself a lot better.
Isn't
with
this
what
like
she's
the
gonna
idea
know.
of conquest? Isn't the idea like I'm just going to go get another notch in the old belt, and it's not to pursue, and they'll lie about it, right?
But it's also like
They'll be
a
like,
man
yeah,
doesn't
I want
wanna turn a
you.
hoe into a
I want to
housewife
have
either.
a long-term relationship with you, baby. I promise.
Yeah, but they're less
I
likely
promise.
to lie 5 dates.
I
in a
promise,
row
honey. I
than just
really
one
do
night.
love you, and then they just like
Yeah.
ghost you, never talk to you again.
But they're likely not going
That
to be doing
definitely
that.
happens.
It definitely happens, but I would say like what
To
you're
protect
doing makes a lot of
yourself.
sense because guys who have the intentions of just sleeping with a woman are oftentimes not going to go on 5 dates with the same woman. They're oftentimes going to want to seal the deal.
I don't know. That
sooner.
runs contrary to a lot of the stories I've heard from the women here, where they're like, one chick was like, the guy went after her for a year, and then the second he got it, he was out.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Dang.
And it's
I-
like, I don't know. So I don't know.
Well, I think that's like the
I would
exception.
say,
But that's like an anomaly.
Throw
and me,
behind.
me and Brian have some disagreements in this arena, right? Which is good. But I would say that a really big indicator, and I think most men would agree with me, and most women, that a big indicator of female promiscuity, if she sleeps with you immediately the first night, probably a pretty good indicator.
But I mean, we have an example right here. She was
I also have
a
low
virgin.
body
Her
count. I just want to point that out. It's
But
low.
she was a virgin. Her body count was 0. She slept with a
Helen
guy.
Keller.
She slept with a guy within. They knew each other for.
But
a
it
few
was a
hours.
marker of promiscuity. So here, let me kind of like throw this back. It actually was a marker of promiscuity because she said after he slept with her, she went in a phase, a promiscuous phase, right, where you slept with multiple men. That's
not
what she
because
said.
of that.
Yeah, but it was a sign. How would that not be a sign of that? Wouldn't that be a sign of that? Like, if she was willing to sleep with him so quickly, and then as soon as that was done, she slept with multiple other men after that.
It was more
But
of like
wait,
a low
wait. Let me
self-esteem thing.
challenge Andrew. On this.
All right.
Okay, but so we have to look at this timeline wise. Yes, she did go ahead, and afterwards there was a string of what sounds like one night stands. In that specific moment, though, when she had just lost her virginity, had she? I mean, time moves in one direction, so she didn't. Like that happened after the fact. So if you're first to arrive, and then assume it developed into a long-term relationship, for example, it's not clear to me if.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I understand what you're saying. Let me counter, though, by saying, okay, you're guy 2, okay? And you go in, and she tells you this story, okay? And then sleeps with you the first night. Do you think she's promiscuous or not?
Wait, tells me.
Tells this story, how the virginity is gone, sleeps with you that same night. Would you gauge this as being a woman who likely is going to be promiscuous going down the road or less promiscuous going down the road?
And she's already done it. And
Yeah,
she's
so
telling me
you're
I'm the new
guy now. You're
I'm
guy
number
2. You're guy 2.
Would she be promiscuous down the road?
Yeah, would you take it as a sign she's going to be more or less promiscuous if after this happens with this guy, she sleeps with you immediately first night also? Or would you take it as a sign that she made a mistake and is going to be chaste now?
That was what I meant when I said I flipped the question around.
Yeah, like I said, this is not how I act anymore. I was during this.
Yeah, I'm
so-
sorry we're talking about you like
No,
you're
I
not
think
here
everyone
because we're
understands.
having
This was
we're
this
totally
was
having a sub argument
Yeah.
and just using you as the focal point. I'm sorry about that, but it's because we're trying to rationalize it. That's
Yeah.
all.
I don't. It would. I mean, certainly, it is a bit more than if I was the first one. If I'm number 2 and I'm hearing the story, losing your within hours of meeting.
Yeah, I'm just
is
saying
a
there
little
wouldn't
bit of
be
an eyebrow raise.
there
It's an
wouldn't
eyebrow
be a
raise.
number 2 without number 1, right? Because otherwise you're number 1.
Right.
So
Why
if-
would it feel more promiscuous with number one?
So I'm just saying it still would be a sign, I think, of promiscuity, even if a virgin gives it up within 6 hours or whatever. That would be still a sign to me of. Yes, before that, not promiscuous.
But so would it be a sign of promiscuity if she did sleep with the first man she ever sleeps with relatively quickly, but they actually ended up in a long-term relationship and
Yeah,
got
I
married-
mean that
got
wouldn't.
married, for
yeah,
example.
that wouldn't be a sign of promiscuity. Then no.
Okay.
But if there's a guy two, I think that guy two would objectively
So guy
say.
two establishes the promiscuity if she sleeps with him quickly.
Well, I think the fact that
Or the
you
first
give up the virginity at 16 in 8 hours already establishes an
Not
idea.
8
that there
hours.
Would be,
We were talking for like a week.
Okay, you're talking for a week. I'm
Well, you
saying
only-
in person.
In person.
In person, I still think that would be a big red flag to any guy too. That this would be a sign of promiscuous behavior going forward.
So you would say not to date the woman, or simply it would just be
I would say if she
a
would,
sign of
I
promiscuity?
would say that any reasonable man. I don't know that I would say not to date her, but I'm saying I think any reasonable man who's guy two sleeps with her within a couple of hours. Let's say this is all hypothetical. Again, I'm sorry, but slept with her for after a couple of hours, right?
Sure.
I think that he would definitely, if he heard that story, go, okay, this chick, she's gonna, you know what I mean? She gives it up real quick to a guy. I think that they would establish promiscuity from that, yeah.
He would hit it and quit it.
Why the double standard though too?
Because we value different things.